Okay, so we are still right in the middle of quarantine, the corona crisis, and I figured right now would be the perfect time to give my office a little makeover. It's really important to have a space that helps me focus, that makes me feel inspired. So this is the color that the walls were when I moved into this apartment. And I've lived here for 2 years now. We are renewing our lease for a 3rd year, so I figured now is the time to mix up the paint, because who knows if I will be here for another year. So I got this really amazing color, a golden yellow color that really fits my brand. And I'm also going to try and prepare a section of my office that is dedicated to videography. Videos, something I'm trying to focus on a lot more these days, and usually I have to like rearrange all the furniture in the living room and kind of make a set that looks nice and clean up all of my boyfriend's stuff. But just having something in my office that's right there where I can just flip the camera on and start filming is going to be key. So that's another thing that I'm going to be implementing with my little office rehaul. Plus, I'm going to try and get things a little bit more organized, so come busy season, I know where things are, I have all the supplies that I need. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so here is what we are currently working with. It's a fairly small space, but I'm lucky to have an office at all, so I can't complain too much. It's been in desperate need of some organization. I finished one wall last night. It took me a couple of hours, but I love it. I'm so obsessed. It's gonna be so warm and bright in here when the whole room is painted this amazing golden yellow color. I live in Maine, so a lot of the year is cold and it can be gloomy. Having a space that feels warm all year is gonna be awesome. So this is part of the baseboard heaters, which are unfortunately ugly, but they keep me warm. I think it's gonna make a big difference if I touch up the white paint on these a little bit. I have 2 cans of white spray paint that has just been kicking around, so I'm gonna use that to freshen up these baseboard heaters. The dust in these things is so gross. Take this as an opportunity to do a little spring cleaning. Ready for this dust action? I don't know if you can see that, but so last night when I finished up, I wrapped my roller in a plastic bag, and I also wrapped my paint tray in a plastic bag, and I tilted it a little bit so that the paint would run down and hopefully pool up instead of spreading out really thin and just drying. It looks pretty good after only 1 coat. I do want to try and stretch out my gallon to cover the whole room, so I'm just gonna go over lightly in a couple places where I see some of the green peeking through. So I grew up with a dad and a stepdad who are really good with their hands. My stepdad actually built our house, and my dad has been repairing his house for as long as I can remember. There was never a time in my life where I wasn't expected to try these things out. I helped drywall our kitchen. You know, anytime something was wrong with the car, my stepdad would be like, come out here, and I would learn how to change the blinker, learn how to change the tires. And so I really just love having the independence where like something as simple as taking a screw out, like I don't feel like I have to wait for my boyfriend to get home. Like I have my own drill, like I have my own toolkit. I love being able to do this stuff myself. It's not hard. I feel like a lot of women especially feel like they don't need to know how to do these things, but you can do it, girlfriend. When I moved in, there were screws all around the room. They're still there, and I have absolutely no idea what the purpose of them are, but they're ugly, and now's the perfect time to unscrew, spackle those holes, and repaint. Super easy, and I don't have any sandpaper, but I do have a nail file, which I'm gonna use to just smooth this hole down a little bit. Next up, we're gonna spackle that baby. I bought this spackle for another video, get ready, but we're gonna use just a little bit of it for these holes. So there's enough just like on the lid, and it's hot pink. And you'll need one of these little putty knife things to smooth it down, but I only need a little tiny bit. I'm just gonna grab it with the corner, stuff it in that hole, stuff it in, and then smooth it out. It goes on hot pink, but it dries white. What I'm gonna do next, I'm kind of lazy, so I am not doing like 2 full coats on the whole room because it looks pretty good. But I'm gonna take white paint and the yellow color that I used for the walls, and I'm gonna take 2 little tiny paintbrushes, and I'm gonna go along the top and kind of retouch where the person who painted it green messed up and where I didn't quite get close enough. Totally painted. I have moved all of my stuff back in, but I don't know where I want to put it yet. I know that the setup that I had before isn't what I want to have moving forward, but I do know that I hate my desk, but because of everything going on right now, I don't really feel comfortable purchasing a new desk, so I'm going to see if I can refurbish my old one. Let's go ahead and get started. I was originally just planning on leaving my desk the way that it was. I just sanded the particle board and painted with flat white paint, but it's looking kind of streaky. Plus, I know that over time, using my computer is gonna wear the paint away. So I bought this gel paint that is good for door and trim. It says no drips or brush marks, extra high gloss finish. So I think this is gonna make the desk just look a lot better and hold up better as well. So this is Gliden brand, and that is also the brand of paint that I'm using for this whole project, and this was about $20 at Home Depot. So you guys are really getting to see me at my absolute finest, fashion-wise, hair-wise. You guys saw on the first night that I put together this tiny shelf in an effort to kind of like reorganize my closet. This is not an upgrade. This is horrible. This was cheap. It was $7. I should have known better and just from the get-go bought a better shelf. We are going to remodel the closet part 2. Let's do it. So this is the part that I have been pretty much avoiding the whole time. I'm feeling very attached to my freshly painted walls and very hesitant to put holes in the walls. Before I go ahead and just start going crazy hanging things up, I'm going to map it out with some paper beforehand. So I'm just gonna cut some things that I have laying around, paper bags, newspapers, to the size of the frames that I have. That way I can just move them around with painter's tape until I find something that I like. So I really want to wanted to add some shelves into my office where I could put some plants and some other decor, but if you go to Home Depot or Walmart or any store and you try to buy a shelf, they're like ridiculously expensive, and I figured they're easy enough to make. So I went to Home Depot and found this piece of, it's actually a piece of siding, and it was, you know, maybe 6 feet long or something like that, and it was like $7 for the whole piece. And at Home Depot I just had them cut it up into some smaller pieces. I was able to get like 5 shelves out of just this one piece of $7 wood. So the other thing that I obviously needed were the brackets that hold them onto the walls, and once again at Home Depot all they had was like super fancy brackets, super expensive, like $8 per bracket, so you need 2 at least per shelf. So there's $16 right there, plus, you know, at least $6 more for like one shelf. So you're looking at $20+ per shelf. These brackets, like maybe they're not the prettiest, but I don't mind them. $3 per bracket. So I am able to create like multiple shelves for the price of one shelf. I painted a couple of them white, so here we go. Now because it is a piece of siding, which I didn't really realize that it was beveled on 2 sides like this, I just had to decide, you know, I want this part to be the front of the shelf, lining it up with the wall, that way I make sure that I put them on straight. Thank you guys so much for watching my little office makeover. Quarantining is just really tough for everyone, and finding things to stay busy is super important. Redoing my office was something that I had always wanted to do. I wanted a space where I could feel inspired, a place that I would be happy to spend my time in, and I have that now. If you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribed to my channel. I hope this inspires you to maybe take on a project in your own home, big or small, and to create a space for yourself that you love. Bye guys!